Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back to my channel. So for those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love, and you can find all the information in the description box below on how to book your own personal private reading with me. So today's video is going to be something that's a little different. It's going to actually be easy spiritual things that everybody can do. Now, just to preference this to say, I've been spiritual and practiced spirituality for my entire life, and there's been times where I've gone and purchased like a candle kit, to support somebody or whatever, and it has great reviews, and then I'm like sitting there and I'm confused by the instructions on how to do it. So I always feel like, especially if you're starting out in spirituality and everything, it can be so overwhelming, and being nervous when you're doing something and trying to make sure that you're going to remember all the steps, you're not going to be able to put the right amount of energy into something for it to work, so that's why it's important to start off simple, and then once you have the hang of that and working with energy, clearing energy, whatever it is that you're trying to do with it, then you can move on to stuff that's a little, more complicated. But also keep in mind that, again, somebody like me who's been doing this for so long, I still do all these little simple things because I'm a busy person. I am a single mom. I don't have time to always be able to meditate for 5 hours a day, and do these midnight rituals for hours at a time or anything like that. So incorporating little things throughout the day works very well for me on a regular basis. So to start off with, if you do happen to see little plumes of smoke coming over here, I am burning protection incense. I actually like to do my protection work midweek, because that's when I feel like people start getting a little funky. Frustrations tend to arise, because people might have had a bad start to their week, or they're in a rush to get to the weekend. And so people tend to get a little anxious and have kind of high energy on Wednesdays, I've noticed. So I like to do my protection work then. I prefer, out of all the brands of incense, the Hem brand. It is HEM. You can find it all over the place. A lot of, even head shops and stuff sell it. There's actually a smoke shop by my old house that I used to go to specifically because they carried the incense. Every time I went in there, I only bought incense and lighters, and the guy's like, "You're never gonna buy anything else." I was like, "I don't need anything else in here." So they have some really great money manifesting incenses as well, and they even have ones now for specifically for the Black community. But the thing about him incense is that it is supposed to have been blessed. It's made in India and blessed by the priests in the temple there. So I purchased mine through moonlucklove.com because you guys know I'm always going to support a Black-owned business first. I also know Soul Gifted Life sells a lot of spiritual products on her site as well. She just recently started carrying crystals too. So I will have them both listed in the comments for you guys to be able to go connect with them if you want to go check out their sites. So definitely incense is really great to put energy out into your home in a really easy way. You just kind of light it and let it do its thing. And obviously, because my room is where I'm recording, where I'm doing my readings, where my desk is and everything, I definitely do a lot of cleansing in this space especially, but of course in my whole entire house. So I tend to, when I do this, I burn one in the front of my home, which is my entry, dining, kitchen, living area, and then back here in my room. And I always sage first before I do that, so that I got rid of anything that was lingering around, so that there is space for the energy that I am trying to put out. And so that is something that is extremely important, that often gets missed, is that whether you're using something like sage or eucalyptus or bay leaves or tobacco, like whatever like smoke cleansing tool that you are using to remove and remove negative energy, cleanse your space, you know, get rid of anything that's not supposed to be there, it is important, because now there is this space for other things to come in, that you fill that space back up with something bringing blessings. So you can diffuse oils like sweet orange oil. I like to diffuse oils and also burn Palo Santo. And keep in mind too, because people are always like, how do you keep it lit? You do have to keep relighting both sage and Palo Santo usually. It depends on the sage and how loosely or tightly it is bundled on how long it will stay lit for you. But you always want to fill up that space with something blessed. Just like if you take a spiritual bath, you would want to do it with bitter herbs first and then sweet herbs after. And we'll talk about spiritual baths like more in the future, but just so that way you guys are keeping that in mind. Okay, so that's something that I always feel like is super important. And you don't only have to, you know, sage. There is other smoke bundles that you can get. These are from moonlucklove.com, and this is the Dragon's Blood and White Sage bundle that she sells. And then this one is lavender and rosemary. I still have a big old bundle of sage that I'm working through, so as soon as I am done with that, I'm gonna start going through this Dragon's Blood, and it smells amazing too. And then just a warning, guys, somebody gave me this, so I didn't order it, but I know these are all the rage right now, you know, these little flower bundles. A lot of times the flowers included in these guys like are actually sacred and they shouldn't be burned, especially rose petals should never ever be burned because they are sacred. So keep that in mind. Also, this happened to me and several other people too, is that, you know, I would suggest if you do have any of these, you take these little flowers off, because once the sage actually lights, what happens is these don't burn with the rest of the bundle, they fall off, and so you'll end up with hot embers falling out like off, you know, into carpet or on wood surfaces. So it's actually kind of dangerous. So that is just a warning, you know, that not only a lot of flowers shouldn't be burned, but also that, you know, these can easily cause damage and fire. So that I'm gonna definitely rip the flowers off. Like, I didn't even think about it, and then it happened and I was like, oh crap. And then I started Googling and I saw these other people complaining too. So I was like, okay, not just me. And then I read about how we shouldn't be burning flowers anyways. Like, I already knew about roses, but apparently there's a lot more flowers on that list. I can't think of all of them right now, but I definitely suggest Googling it. So the next thing is a really super easy manifesting trick. So say you saged, you're burning your incense and your Palo Santo to bring back in that good energy. Everything feels great in your home. So now you're like, let's manifest something. Now, I have a video up on my channel, and it is actually, I believe, the first video I have on my channel, and it's also on my YouTube. I will re-record it at some point because I realized that the sound wasn't great because it was just horrible acoustics at that house that I was living at. And then I didn't realize that my phone picked up so much sound from the ceiling fan. So I will re-record it, but for the meantime, it is still up there. You can use ancestor money to manifest very easily. So I like to do this on a weekly basis, and of course you want to do it in at least threes and ask for the same thing on all three. But watch the video for the real explicit directions. But I like to do this on Thursdays because Thursday is a great day for money work. And so I will go ahead and do my ancestor money on Thursdays. And then I have Sundays dedicated to just all my spiritual stuff. I cleanse my house. I add, special cleansing waters to all of my stuff, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what I do is I, refresh and clean my ancestor altar every Sunday as well. And so that's when I replace all the waters, the offerings, the flowers on it, and the candles. And I will either write my petitions under my candles with ancestor money, or I will just write thank you notes to my ancestors and put it on the altar on this ancestor money on Sundays. So I kind of have little times dedicated throughout the week that I do certain things, and I set aside time to do that. So like I said, Thursdays I do my money work, and I cleanse my space with smoke and all of that stuff, and do my Palo Santo and my incense, and do my ancestor money. Wednesdays I do my protection work, and Sundays that's when I'm dedicated to cleaning my whole house, both physically and spiritually, and then working on my ancestor altar. So, and I'll have videos coming up about ancestor altars as well, because we all have ancestors and we all can honor them if we so choose to. Of course, that falls in with everybody's own personal beliefs, but our ancestors, I believe do guide us and are with us, and we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for them. So I feel like it is so incredibly important that we honor them for all the sacrifices and hard work and love that they put into, life for me to even be here. So I'm just extremely grateful, and I feel blessed to know that there's people on the other side that I may never have met or even known about or heard about that care about me. That's really pretty magical when you think about it. So the other thing is that, a lot of times we get really oh my God, I have to have this perfect candle, and I don't know how to do this, and da 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 da. Well, the thing is, there's obviously plenty of people and Black-owned businesses who offer candle kits. Jeton Burton, or no, it's Jeton. I always want to make it sound French, but she goes by Melissa. I will link her information down in the comments as well. She does candle kits for protection, ancestors, and money, and I believe love too. She's got a bunch of them because she keeps adding to them, and she also creates money oils. And so I've used her kits and I love them. Soul Gifted Life also has intention candles for manifesting. So hers are amazing too. I've actually gifted several of them to friends and family for birthdays, because I thought what a perfect way to start off your, personal new year, to set an intention for what you want to, that year to look like for you. So there are people that provide that, so you don't have to worry, but you also can very simply do things yourself, and it really isn't that difficult. You can honestly take any candle and put your intentions into it if you know how to, meditate and send energy through yourself into a candle. So for example, I have this pink Bath and Body Works candle. I could sit here and meditate with it, write out a petition and put it underneath it and burn it and get it to do the same thing for me as, some fancy dressed candle that I spent hours working on and praying over and everything. You can put the same amount of energy into something like this. You don't have to have some super specific candle. You can use those jar candles. They have them in the different colors, at Walmart, whatever, every single candle, because I burn obviously certain spiritual candles for a certain purpose. And of course, those, you know, they're on my altar, they're dressed with oils and powders and this and that, you know. But also, I love candles anyways. I love making my home smell good. So if I'm, you know, gonna say, for example, I want my room to smell like this, before I light it, I am gonna sit there and put an intention over it, because why not? Take advantage of every opportunity that you have to put out some good vibes and manifest. So what I like to do when I physically clean my home to add a spiritual element to it is I like to use cleansing or blessed waters and add them to, you know, my Mr. Clean, my Lysol, my Pine Sol, whatever cleaning solutions I'm using. And I do it for obviously anything that is like safe to put it on, you know, countertops, the flooring, whatever. So if I am worried, like if I wanted to spray it on my carpeted floors, I use moon water. And I'll talk to you guys about, you know, how to make moon water in a second, because it is super simple. But I'll use moon water if I am worried about, like, if it's going to, you know, tarnish anything or, you know, stain or leave a film or something like that. But otherwise, any other surface that's safe to, you know, spray Pine Sol or Lysol on, then I will use something like Florida water, rue water. If I have access to it, I will get hyssop and boil it and strain the water and then set some aside for a spiritual bath. And I will put some into my, you know, mop water and my cleaning solutions. And so what I actually do is I start off by, you know, cleaning the inside of the house as normal. I take my broom and I sweep all the dirt out. I don't have a back door to do this on because I live in a condo, so I have to do it out the front door. But I sweep everything from the back of the house out to the front of the door, and then all the way off of my patio and down the stairs, and I follow it all the way down and sweep it all as far away from my home as I can. And then I use microfiber cloths. So I will soak it in my cleaning solution, and I actually clean the outside of my front door and the inside. I just wipe everything, and if you're cleaning stuff to get rid of it, I wipe it down. You know, if it's a counter, I'm wiping it away from me, because you are physically moving that energy off and away from you. And so then, you know, I do that. I go around, I cleanse all of my doorknobs, light, you know, switches, all of that kind of stuff. So that way I'm not only obviously disinfecting it from all the germies and everything, but spiritually disinfecting as well. And then I go through and mop my floors with my mop water mixture, whatever I'm using, and I add this to it. Or again, like I said, if I am worried about, oh my God, is this somehow going to affect the finish on my hardwood floors, then I would use the moon water for that. So those are simple ways to like incorporate stuff in. And then I diffuse some orange oil, or I will burn, you know, some sweet like scented candles or incense to fill the space up with positive energy. So moon water is extremely simple to make. I like to use this as the water that I put on my altar, as well as for my ancestors. And so you just basically, when there is a full moon, you take some containers, you fill it up with water. I use distilled or filtered water because where I live, we have the hardest water. Like I'm in California. You can't drink out of the taps in California anyways. You don't want to, but it really, you know, I just feel like if I'm not going to drink it, I'm not going to offer it to my ancestors or consider it to be cleansed enough to bless my home with. So thankfully I have a filter on my fridge, you know, for clean water. So I fill it up with that, or distilled water, as I said, and then you just put it out underneath, you know, where the moon will hit it. I don't put crystals in the jar itself, only because, you know, so many crystals can dissolve or get rusty or, you know, warped or something. from being in water, I actually just put the crystals on top, or I'll put this on a plate and then surround it with the crystals. And I will do a bunch of these at one time. And so I actually set different crystals around them so that I have, you know, my ones that are for money, and then my ones that are for love, and then just, you know, cleansing the energy overall. And so that way that I can have them for different purposes as well. And you can always, you know, cleanse yourself physically with these as well. Use them in spiritual baths. Just pour some into your hands and wipe it, you know, down your chakra center to cleanse yourself if you feel like you need some physical cleansing. Same thing with the Florida water, although of course just keep in mind that this is not scented, and this does have a pretty strong scent. So for me, if I feel like I want to put any kind of cleansing oil on myself and I don't want to smell like Florida water for the rest of the day, I will then use my moon water for that. So those are some of my favorite little things to do. Also, if you guys have been watching my videos, you know I love this Aura Cleanse Spray from moonlucklove.com. This smells amazing, number one. And you do want to shake it because she has herbs in it. So they do tend to, you know, get all kind of clumpy and stuff. But I use it to just spray my space. I spray myself. I have one in the car. So if I'm like, road rage, spray it away. But it really does help to clear off any like yucky energy. Also, you guys, sound baths or sound bowls, because they're referred to, you know, as both in the sense of what I'm going to speak about, are incredible for helping to clear your energy so that you can get back focused on something else, or if you feel like you can listen to it to get yourself into some sort of a meditative space. YouTube has a bunch. They have ones that'll play for anywhere from 5 minutes, but some of them have it'll go on for 16 hours, you know, so you can have it playing at a very low volume in the background when you're at home if you want, you know. But what I like to do, because being an empath, I have a very hard time being at stores like Walmart. You know, to me, it feels very like, and people being in my peripheral moving a lot can trigger me to get really anxious. And so I actually have my, you know, little like Bluetooth earpieces that I wear for talking on the phone to clients and stuff and listening to YouTube all day long. So what I do is I just turn on one of those sound bath videos or sound bowl videos and put it at a low enough volume where I can mildly hear it, but I'm still very aware of everything that is going on around me. And it keeps me centered and calm while I am out. And it also helps a lot too for anything that's kind of stressful that you may have to be dealing with. Like if it's like a chore you hate doing, or, oh my God, you know, I gotta psych myself up to have this like shitty conversation with my bank manager or whatever it is. Like it definitely helps to keep you in that calm space, you know, so that you can get through that. So I hope that helped you guys. I will definitely have some more coming up. I just wanted to touch on some simple little things that you can do that I personally do myself on a daily basis that help me stay connected spiritually, without having to, you know, beat myself up because I couldn't spend 3 hours that morning meditating because I couldn't drag myself out of bed at 3 a.m. to do it, you know, kind of thing. So anyways, guys, if you wanted to book your own personal private reading with me, all my information will be in the description box below. There's a coupon code Bella20 to use at checkout for 20% off your personal private reading with me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. We have a giveaway currently going on to win a free necklace and a free reading from me. And then we will be doing another one really soon as we hit 500 subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed to enter to join those things. I will see you guys all again soon. Bye.